What up, y'all? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Let's Talk More Action Golf podcast. Of course, you already know I'm your host, Luke Josepha, and today we have an amazing lineup for you. Joining us is none other than Paul of Lombardi Golf. Lombardi Golf makes some great putters, and recently they've dipped their toes into drivers. But before we dive into our conversation with him, let's talk about my weekend on the greens. So I want to set the stage for you all. I'm a competitive player. Yes, I'm not going to go to the PGA. I'm not going to play professional. I'm not going anywhere. And I'm a weekend golfer. But I am very competitive. So last week, I traveled to Austin, played a couple of rounds, beautiful greens out there, really nice courses, and I did really well. First game I played, I think might have been on Tuesday evening, I scored a 94. Second game I played Thursday evening, scored a 91. I'm feeling myself. Pause. But I'm excited and I'm happy about my progress. So I come back down to Houston. I played around late Friday evening just to get myself together. But I don't know if I told you guys before, I'm part of several group chat for golf. I'm part of a few of them, but the one that I often connect with and play with is the Southern Par Makers out here in Houston. There are 5 of us: Cox, Chad, Chris, Rod, and myself. And in the group chat, I'm always talking. I'm always talking smack. I'm always saying who I'm better than, who's better than me. And last week, I sent out the ranking. I said Cox is number 1, of course. He generally scores in the 80s. I said I'm number 2, because in the last few games we've played, I came in at number 2. I said Chad is number 3, and I said Chris 4, Rod 5. Now, it's a little unfair to Rod because he hasn't been playing with us, on the many outings that we've gone out to. So I want to be mindful about that. But in any case, me and Chad have been battling it out. So I come from Austin and I'm excited. And then on Sunday, we get down to playing. So we're playing at Gus Wortham. It's a course out here in Southeast Houston. Beautiful course, really nice. Got my brand new shoes, all white. But what I didn't realize is that while I was in Austin with beautiful sky, that in Houston it had been raining the entire week. So when we got on the course, it was like soup. And immediately I realized I made a terrible mistake by wearing white shoes. And already, I don't know about you all, but me, the minute that I'm thinking about all kind of things, my swing thought is all over the place. So I'm already at a disadvantage there with white shoes, muddy. So that's already taken a big chunk of my mind space, and I'm not hitting the ball well. So, and we decided to walk. So I am doing poorly on the course. Shots that I generally hit really well, I'm doing all kind of stuff. In fact, when I got to hole 2, I sliced the ball so hard that the ball left the course and traveled onto the street and hit a bus. That's how bad I was doing on Sunday. But the thing is, I had been talking so much crap in the group chat that now I had nothing to back it up. And I was a sore loser, I have to admit. I did not handle my loss too gracefully. And I ended up responding like a sore loser because I'm arguing with Chad because he beat me over 1 point. I'm like, no, listen, I was a complete sore loser. And what I'm realizing, well, not what I'm realizing, I've always known this, but the game can really humble you in very unexpected ways. Yeah, my game was good, but the fact that the course was like soup, muddy, and like it completely threw me off my game. And because of that, I did not do well. Since I had been talking so much craziness in the group chat, everyone was looking at me like, yeah, this ain't it, bro. So I had a very humbling moment. Now, why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing this because in every single game that I've played, I've always said I never lose. I either win or learn. And this one was both a loss and a learning opportunity for me. I don't know in what situation you all have been where the game has humbled you, but for me, this was truly a humbling experience. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to that. So big shout out, big props to the Southern Par Makers. My guy Tommy Two Gloves. Yes, you came in at number 2. I gotta give that to you. My guy Cox came in at number 1. And Chris, you always come through nice in a very professional and humbling way. So I'm grateful that I play with you all each and every day. Listen, go ahead, grab your clubs. Let's get into it. Let's get into our conversation with Paul. Let's talk more action golf, y'all.
How you been?
I've been well, man. I've been doing really well. Listen,
I know your stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. So I'm super excited, man. How about you? How you doing?
Well, I want to say a real big thanks out to you because we offered to send you a putter at no cost, and you were such a gentleman and understand business so much that you went on and bought one, and that means a ton to us, man.
Listen, you, Paul, you getting ahead of the whole thing now. Now you've already given the lead away, so now everyone is just gonna walk away from the podcast because they heard the whole thing. But listen, I want to put a pin in this. Let me get people to introduce you properly. CEO of Lombardi Golf, and you create.
Yes, it's myself and my lovely wife Lily, and she's a really good golfer. It's one of the few relationships that on Instagram that I can honestly tell everybody in the world that my wife is a better golfer.
Oh wow,
she's really good. Yeah,
maybe she needs to talk to my wife because I've been trying to get her to do it to get on the golf course, and she wants to enjoy herself when we get on the golf course, but she simply wants to be a passenger princess.
She's the one that got me into golf. The story's
really
great. Yeah, she's amazing.
Oh,
and then
wow.
Okay. So basically, my name's Paul Cristiano, and how this business got started is I was getting a kidney transplant in New York about almost a year ago. In July, it'll be a year. And what happened was when I came out of the surgery, I was like, I've always wanted a Bettinardi. Well, Lily bought me a Bettinardi. And what happened was I started realizing that's too much money. You know, a lot of respect to Bettinardi and all other makers. They make great putters, but I just thought it was too much money for people to bear. And so we decided to put out our own line of putters, and they're reasonable and they putt great. So I think I know you played in 1985 and you make great putts with it. And I just look at it as like, I think the industry has to look at, you don't have to spend all your money on just one club. You know, when there's people out there who are making quality products that you can get for affordability.
Right. You know, I'm so glad that you're saying this because that's one of the reasons during my search for a putter, because I'm a fairly new golfer and I didn't want to go crazy. Like my clubs are all used clubs. And then when I started, I remember, I think when I broke 100, I was like, I got to treat myself, get me a new putter because the one I had was one that they gave me at the clubhouse. So I started looking around. And the price of the putters blew me away, right? Yeah. And I remember a gentleman from Australia reached out on Instagram and said, hey, he's like, yo, you should check out Lombardi putters. They're really good. And at the time, I remember saying to him, hey, I'm not good enough to just buy a putter without trying it on. He's like, no. You got to give this guy a chance. So fast forward. Awesome. Yeah, he was
That's
really
Jules.
about. Yep.
Jules lives
Yes.
in Canberra, Australia, by Queensland. Yeah, he's
Wow.
awesome. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
our team.
There you go. So he was like, we got to get you. And then so I was like, well, I'm not really sure. So I ended up buying a Cleveland HB because that was like
They're good putters. Yeah,
$149. Right.
yeah. Cleveland's good.
And I knew if I came home with that, I spent $149. My wife wouldn't kill me. So I was like,
We
all
don't
right,
want
cool.
any deaths.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I went to play with it. I think maybe a week later, it got stolen. And then when I posted that, then that's when you reached out and you were like, hey, man, I just saw your story. I could give you a putter. And I think we got into the conversation about the kidney transplant
Yeah.
because as we talked about it, I'm like, you're not going to believe this, Paul, because I'm also a donor. Like, I think 2011, I donated a kidney. My
That's what
Sinai.
makes this so beautiful. Hey, I wanted to say something to you.
Uh-huh.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm ready.
Perks come with what I'm about to tell you. Are you sure?
Okay.
I want to
Okay.
welcome you. I want to welcome you to Team Lombardi.
Yes, go. I'm listening. Now I'm like, oh wow. Okay. Okay. So talk a little bit more about what this means, because you're
So
just saying
so
this to
so
me.
so you're going to get another putter from us,
Okay.
and you're part of a family. You already were, but now you're even more, and especially because you were such a wonderful, beautiful person that you gave a kidney to someone. That's
Yeah.
all about what Lombardi is. It's about giving and being part of
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, 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 man. And like I think the joy of being able to share with other people, to give to other people. And I think that's one of the reasons when you first told me you were gonna give me the putter, I was like, no, 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 no. Let me buy the putter because I bought the putter. And let me tell you, Paul, I kid you not, my putting game is no joke. Like
I
my
believe
putting
it.
game with that putter is no joke. Like I've gotten so much better. Like the feel of it. Like I can, and I think, I'm a fairly new golfer. So maybe people may have different, like for me, I like the feel of the club. I don't want it to be too open, too close. I like to feel, when I'm putting, I'm doing it. So man, so tell me, how'd you get into this business? So you decide your wife got you a butter
Right.
that was a little bit expensive.
But I thought
What
it was
was your process
well,
in
Bet
jumping
Nardi.
into the business?
I'm sorry, I'm in a coffee shop. I apologize. Bet Nardi, and
Oh,
Titleist
it's not a
Scotty
big deal.
Cameron,
You good?
and yeah, $420 something. We could make somebody a putter with their
Mm-hmm.
name in it. Here's an exciting
Mm,
thing that just occurred. I don't know if you know you know who the Saints are, but we just got the defensive end, Cam Jordan. We're making a custom for him right now. So it's like there's some people who are coming to Lombardi that are, figures and people who have like made their name in the NFL and in different sports, but they want to be part of something because it's like a family and you can make it your own. And we wanted to make it to where it's, reasonable and people can still have something that's their own. Um, that's important to us.
So how'd you get in when you decided you want to be able to create a pathway for folks who do not want to spend a lot of money,
Right,
on
right.
a putter that is affordable, that can really be really good. So what was your process from design, manufacturing, selling, price point, creating all of that? What was that process like for you?
Well, I think one of the top things that you can do is to make something that's really like it. If you make it too outrageous, it tends to make people wonder. But when you make it something that looks familiar to them, but you make it your own, and that's kind of like with the 1985, with 308, with the um, TC putter. Those are like our three best sellers. It's looks relative to their game, but it's also at a price point that they can afford, you know. And I think the price point in the industry right now is between 149 and $300. But most of our putters are below 200. So it tells people like, hey, you know what? You can get a quality putter at an affordable price. And that's what I think will create. I mean, to break the 200 mark, and even you can even get a custom through us for as low as $169. And that's insane. You can pick the head, you can pick the shaft and the grip, and it's $169. So I think that's
And
what
it's
we're
going to
trying
look
to do.
exciting. I said, and it's going to look exciting. I think for
Yeah,
me, that's what I
it's going to be
appreciate
what
about
they
it.
want.
Yep, that fiery red for me. As when I saw that, I was like, "Oh no, I gotta get that one." That fiery red.
You
Yeah.
would
So
not believe. I think it's an appealable price and it's an appealable putter. But at the end of the day, it putts great. I made, and this is no joke, about 3 months ago, I used to do these one hand putt videos all the time, and people loved it. And they would go on, and we'd have 60, 100, 200 people watching. I made with that putter in 5 balls from 60 feet, I made 2 putts. And people were like insane. They couldn't believe it. They're like, Paul, this is dead putter. And people actually went on and bought it watching that video. They were like, just if that thing can putt from 60 feet in 5 balls and make 2 putts, I'm going to buy it.
that's it. That's
I
it. You
couldn't
know,
believe it.
if you create a good product, that people believe there's heart and you're relatable, right? I think a lot of times, like even with the guy in Australia, he found it was accessible. It was like, hey, reach out to this guy. He's gonna connect you and all that. So what at the end of it all, Paul, what
Yep.
connects you in the game the way that it does? Like what about your personality, your
I'm gonna
character?
say what 90% of the people, which well, first off, my wife, because playing with her, I wouldn't if somebody said you could play with you got your last game on earth and you could play with Tiger Woods or my wife, I would tell Tiger Woods, man, sorry, I'm playing with the best golfer I know. That's how I feel about it. It's it's
Listen, you
it's
get
it's
yourself a
deep.
lot of
It's
credits
deep.
there.
It's deeper than how good you are. It's
Mm.
how good you are.
Mm.
My wife's never been arrested. My wife's never hurt anybody. My
Yeah.
wife can play the game. I'm about character. It's not just about what you are on the course. It's about what you do when you're off the course. My favorite golfer, besides my wife, is Payne Stewart. And it's because he was a purist of the game and he died the same year he won the US Open. So to us, and what's important to us is who you are as a person more than what you are as a player. That is what's important to us.
So how much of who you are you bring to the golf course when you're playing?
What's that?
I said, how much of who you are that you bring to the golf course when you're playing?
How much do I
So
what now?
what you said that, it's all about who you are on the inside, your
Yeah.
heart, what you're feeling. And I always wonder with golfers, how much of their personality, who they are, do they bring to their own game of golf?
I think I can give you an example of somebody who at the moment is 100% breathing that is Bryson DeChambeau. Because
Mm.
Scotty Scheffler's a great guy, amazing golfer, very, very focused. I think what happened to him. But for me, I think I have a great personality with people. I treat them the way that they should be treated and not the way that a person, you know, would think you should be. You have to be right with people. And I think that Bryson DeChambeau was humbled at one point, and now he's making it up. And so to me, I respect a golfer that has character and respect for the people that watch the game and are in tune with That's one of the reasons why everybody loves Ricky Fowler. You know, who you are as a person comes through. But if you treat the fans and you walk off and you don't speak to them or look at them or acknowledge them, you're pretty much kind of putting yourself out from what you're supposed to be as a sportsman. It's real important to connect with the people, because without those people, you really don't resonate with the rest of the world. I mean, if you're in it for getting a paycheck, find another job, because that is important to get paid. But at the end of the day, you got to be right with yourself, and you got to remember there's tons of kids that are watching you, and you got to watch how you act, because you're resonating with them. You don't want to send mixed messages to a kid that's 8 years old and looks up to you. It's no different than, a musician, or, a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, a priest. Whatever you do outside of your profession, people are going to judge you by. And it's called your legacy. And I said it the other day in a post. I don't know how this happened, but I'm known for making a comment and it getting thousands and thousands of likes. And I think it's because I think about what I put as a comment before I put it. And a lot of the times it's about integrity. And people resonate with that. And if you have integrity, they're going to listen to you. But if you don't, they're going to tune you out and they're going to go to the next guy who does. And that's why you see really, really good golfers that I don't need to name, that people say, oh man, I don't really care if he wins a championship, because you have to win as a champion in your heart. And that's important. That's Lombardi, man. I can tell you right now, if we go on a course and there's somebody who's distasteful, I'm not going to say anything to hurt them. I just go on about my day. But if there's somebody out there who's helping somebody, I see them, playing the game with etiquette and respect, we'll treat them with etiquette and respect. That's how it should be.
In your experience, what's the craziest thing you've experienced on the golf course? Maybe something that's not rude, that's not mean, but some of the funny things that you experience when you get on the golf course with other people.
Well, just recently, this is good. And it's not crazy. Crazy, I'd have to think about. Well, it's usually always an alligator next to the tee box when Lily and I are playing. And I just call them, I go, oh, look at my babies. But it was a really good story. And this was just a week and a half ago. And we were on hole number 9 at this course. And this gentleman was moving pretty quick behind us. And I was thinking, oh, should we let him play through? Well, for some reason that didn't pan out. He just was staying back. He didn't ask to play through. And he hit the ball over our heads from the tee box. And I know what you said, and I still post about it when I said that you would take their ball and put it in your pocket. And I like that. I think that's deserving if you can. Well, listen, so we get to the 10th hole, and here he comes. And he's behind us, like, waiting to hit, So when I get to the 10th, off the 10th green, I'm waiting there. And I go, hey, man, if you want to play through, you can play through. Now, thinking the guy was, you always think the person behind you is a jerk. Listen what he says. He goes, no, I want to play with y'all. I'm thinking, funny way to show it. Wait, he didn't even realize he hit the ball into us. So I hand him a Lombardi putter. He drops it, scratches it all up. I'm thinking, all right, this dude's either dislikes us or we ended up playing 9 more holes with him, and he was lovely. And then he uses a Lombardi and makes a birdie putt with it. The story was amazing.
Yeah. That's impressive. That's impressive. This is one thing I did not expect when I first started playing to see on the course. Alligators, snakes. I think there's a course that I play to. On hole number 2, I teed off one time, and there was a snake right in front of me, and I did not notice it. To this day, every time I'm playing there, I make sure to look around all the time so there are no snakes. Yeah, I did not expect that at all. So
you need to go with us. You need to meet us in Tulum, Mexico, and we'll play PGA Riviera Maya. and there's always big, massive iguanas on the tee boxes.
Oh my God.
But it's so
Yeah.
cool. They don't mess
That
with
that
you.
yeah.
Yeah, they're like spectators.
Yeah. That's one thing that I think like I gotta get used to. Seeing the animals and yeah, I definitely gotta get used to that. It's for you and things that you're looking forward to sharing with people when it comes to Lombardi putters.
Yeah, well, we have something coming out that is going to be on the level of almost like where did that come from? I
Mm.
can't divulge it because it would give it away, but I can pretty much tell you since you're on Team Lombardi, I'll send you a picture of it. Just don't share
Okay,
it.
got you. Got
Yeah,
you.
it's going to change the game. We're trying to do that, you know. We're trying to make it
Okay.
fun, affordable, and be a part of a family. So
Got you. Got you. So listen, I know that you're in the middle of stuff, so I'm gonna let you go.
yeah, thank you, man.
How has your wife beaten you that made you think on the way home?
Oh, wait, say that one more time. I'm sorry.
No, I said, was there a time that your wife beat you so bad that on the way home the conversation was awkward?
No. You know why? Because I have so much respect for her as a person that if
Um,
she beat me by 10 strokes, all I did was learn from what I lost by. She's, dude, we scramble a lot, but she's so just, one thing about women, because I do a lot of shooting, is they don't have the pride factor that men do. They just play the game. And she's that person. She just plays with a lot of relaxation and she doesn't get stressed about anything. Not with the golf world, but and that's what just makes us so pure, you know. It's like wedges, dude. It's insane. Like
yeah,
she was
yeah.
out 5 months. She'll take a pitch wedge and make, you know, she made 2 out of 3 from 25 feet on practice. And when she was out for 5 months, she's really just a good, solid, versatile player all around. And I don't know, man, it just makes me love her to death.
You know,
And I have,
it's interesting. It's
there's
interesting
nothing
you say,
awkward. If she beats me, I have so
uh-huh.
much respect for her that I expect it.
You expect that will happen. You know, some of the best game that I've played with women. I think I played a few months ago at Herman Park, and I played with a couple from Denver. And when I tell you
Oh,
that's one of the best scored I've ever, best round I've ever had because the wife was so relaxed, so easy. The husband was so nice. Like there is something about when you're playing a game and you're just moving so easy. This is the lower, I mean, it was my lowest scored game. And
that's
I have not scored
congratulations.
that way, like so easy. Eric and Anne, like there was just amazing. So when you're saying like women don't hold on to that whole pride, that whole ego, I feel you. I get that. Yeah, because man, me included, I'm working on that. I'm trying to do the whole joyful golf, but sometimes if I make a bad swing, you could see it in my face, and I have to. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Well, look, I want to ask you something.
Uh huh.
Go DM me, DM us
Okay.
today, and go look through
Okay.
there and tell us what you like.
Okay. I got you. I got you. Listen, Paul, it was great talking to you, man. I really appreciate
Love you,
this. I
brother.
know you're moving around. I love you too. I'm looking forward to seeing what you got in store
Yeah,
for
well,
everyone.
look,
Okay.
I want to come play with you in Houston because you're only a few hours away. So,
Oh, so
we'll make.
let me know when you want. I'll clear out the schedule so we
Let's
could
do
get
it.
something together. All
Let's
right.
do it. I'd love to do it. All right. God bless you,
All
man.
right, man. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk More Action Golf podcast. We hope that you've enjoyed today's episode. A big shout out to our producer and creative director, Ajane Josafa, for bringing the show to life. And a special thank you to Sid Mac for our fantastic music. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on your favorite platform. Follow us on social media for the latest update and exclusive content at Let's Talk More Action Golf. I'm your host, Luke Josepha. Until next time, keep swinging easy, and remember, let's talk more action golf.
Life's a maze, keep your head high when you going through it. I saw dead bodies licking the eyes of the living, held back as you held back from making bigger decisions. We get lost, but this journey comes with us down, that's a given. That's a given. That's a given. We get lost, but the journey comes with us down, that's a given.
Let's talk more action golf.